Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to the Grid Culture. Let's get into it. So I want to, have a conversation about guns and all the gun control that they're wanting to be passed and legislated on top of the ones that we already have, but they want to institute more. You've had all of these recent shootings at the schools, school in Buffalo. Not school, but the school in Uvalde, Texas, the grocery store in Buffalo. One just last night in Tulsa at a hospital. And so, yeah, a lot of people, and a lot of people are rightful, to be scared. I'm not going to, call them stupid or anything like that, but a lot of the ways that they're moving is short-sighted. A lot of the ways that they're receiving, information when it comes to, the pushback to what they want is stupid. They're moving irrational, like we continue to do. Did the same thing. We've already passed this point during the pandemic. Already past this point during the pandemic and everything. We saw Justin Trudeau, the Prime Minister of Canada, that fucking tyrant, piece of trash. And now he's putting a ban on handgun sales and transfer and everything. Can't even protect yourself, man. Against, a pending threat or anything like that. It's all part of a free society, or at least a society that has liberty and is able to have, certain human rights, things that are just human rights. It's human right to be able to protect yourself in the event of a threat. That's a human right. Nobody should have a monopoly on that, especially governments, which is nothing but cartels. They're man just like you and I. And because we made these decisions, I mean, who slaughtered more people than governments throughout history? Pick up a history book. Who slaughtered more people than governments? Here in America, in multiple countries overseas? Nobody. Talking about from China to over in the Middle East, over in Germany. And still doing it to this day. Here in America, all the multiple wars waged against the Native Americans. It's still happening to this day. All the COINTELPRO, the false flag operations. That's why I tell people, sit up there, I give people certain things. When I told them, about stuff during the pandemic and how there's biological terrorism. Where we talk about, Operation Northwoods. It's terrorism against your own people, man. That the government is capable, because they're evil just like the next man, just like the people that they talk about in the media, who go around and start shooting up schools and crap like that. And a lot of times, those are their operatives. A lot of times, those are their operatives. They got certain ways of doing shit, man. And be able to control your emotions and get you to want something passed. Now, will gun control, stuff like that, different measures making it harder, will it cut down on mass shootings? Maybe. According to certain, first of all, the lie that America is the only country with mass shootings and stuff like that, that's a complete lie. But and they happen, the type of mass shootings that people are referring to happen a lot. It's very, very rare. A lot more rarer than people think. Okay? A lot of things that they consider mass shootings, like I'll give you an example, you know what I'm saying? The majority of mass shootings are occurring, inner cities and shit like that. Now, we could just, keep it all the way 100, say it's black folks. Now, the thing is, we know damn well ain't no black folks running up in those schools and shooting no kids. Now, do innocent people get hit? Yeah, but get hit because of bullshit. Bullshit that, try to prevent, that y'all sit up there think, just like with the Will Smith thing, y'all think it's all right to go slapping the shit out of somebody in the name of your honor or because of words. Exactly what we was talking about. So y'all want everything both ways, man. Think you go and slap somebody and think, and think you could just have fist fights and think motherfuckers are just taking L's like that. No, it's about trying to minimize that, trying to keep from even get to that point, be able to talk it out. And let's sit up there trying to fight or punch somebody or slap somebody or, if anything, just ignore a person. Because like I said, your only obligation is to protect your family. But a lot of times that's not what happens. These fights happen, somebody pulls out a gun, goes sprays up a bunch of shit, a lot of innocent people get hit. Those are the majority of mass shootings. But like I said, they're not running in. At least you get a cue that when to leave. They're not running into random places and just shooting random folks. Not to say that doesn't happen with black folks, but for the most part, we know that's mainly white folks doing that type of shit. Okay? So, but these type of mass shootings happen. The ones, see in Uvalde and the Post nightclub, Sandy Hook and all of that, Parkland. Those happen very rarely. Now, should they be happening at all? No, they shouldn't happen. But like I said, it's part of society. It's, with more freedoms that you have, especially when fighting for human rights. It's the other side of human rights. When having human rights, these risks are always at stake. But these human rights are in place so you don't have tyrannical governments do what they've been doing. Okay? Y'all calling for the ability to be able to protect yourself. Like I said, they doing this in Canada. They've already banned AR-15s and all of this stuff. I always use Australia as an example of what they've done, and there's been no mass shootings. First of all, y'all saw what was happening in Australia during the pandemic. And not to say that they probably couldn't have got that off here in America, because they was letting a lot of shit go down here in America, shutting down people's businesses. So, maybe that shit don't matter anyway. Ain't nobody busting. But at the end of the day, person should still have that right to make that decision if they want to. And like I said, the militia's going to have to be formed at some point. It's going to be some point when people got to say enough is enough. Yeah, Australia, they sit up there throwing people in the camps and stuff on video, if you don't believe me. And all the crazy laws and crazy just freedom, just breaches of, I don't know what their constitution, anything like that. It's above the Constitution. Certain human rights and speech and stuff like that. They don't get those in those countries like that. Over in China and stuff like that. We protect these things for a reason here in America. But we stand on those principles for a reason, because they, like I said, they trample on that shit all the time. But we stand on those principles, and you should want to move toward that in the event that you want to, have your own society, start your own society, autonomous. But what happens when you start your own society? Your own little utopia that y'all want. You'll have to have those type of things. If you want to have your own city, just like I said with the pandemic, and you're allowing the government and stuff like that to enforce bans on where you stay at. You'll get shut down. It can cripple your economy. They can do not only what they cripple your economy, do what they did. It's funny because, like I said yesterday, with the shooting in Tulsa, it was on the what was it? Well, no, it wasn't 100 years, but it's been about 101 years since the Tulsa massacres. But people forget, or no, not even forget. A lot of people don't know that they were using planes and stuff. They were using planes and bombs to take down these people. These are military weapons. It was sanctioned by the U.S. government. Okay? And this wasn't the only riots and stuff like that that were happening during that time frame and taking out black businesses and shit like that. But y'all want the government, y'all think, these people have just changed since then. Start rocking outside of their system and see what happens. Stop paying taxes. Stop paying not paying taxes, but getting your taxes stolen. Move outside of their system and you find out what happens. But you want to give them a monopoly on violence, give them a monopoly on protection. It's foolish. Think about these schools and stuff like that. And they putting these conversations, like I said, when you're watching these foolish debates on television and shit like that, they put one side, all Democrats are all saying the same thing and all Republicans are saying the same thing. And a lot of times the things that are closer to the truth, I say closer because Republicans ain't shit, but they're closer to the truth. And so when they hear somebody like me speaking, or somebody who's standing for just freedom and not operating on a partisan level, or partisan thought process, they'll just look at it as these are Republican talking points. I must be a conservative, a right-wing type of guy. And those are usually the ones who are insensitive when it comes to issues about race or things, with LGBT and stuff like that, little sensitive issues like that. So you automatically get cast as the bad guy. So you'll look at my talking points, instead of going through each point and its merits, people like to box everybody in the one thing. And that's how it works. And they know that people are stupid like that. They know that people are stupid like this. Nobody's having the real conversation. Everybody's just going back and forth on the internet, screaming at each other. These dumb little rallies that they're having. There's no nuance and nothing. Think about the shooting that happened in Uvalde. All the different things, all the security measures that these schools go through nowadays. All of these schools go through the entire process, security process, knowing what to do, these drills and everything. They keep all of their doors locked. And we'll get to the police afterwards, but this is not something that y'all not gonna ignore. And this is what a lot of fools tried to sit up there and, when they was talking about the teacher that left the door open on the side and say, oh, don't make this about her. No, she's a part of that shit. Because lives were lost because of this shit. Lives were lost. Y'all want to blame everything else instead of actually taking responsibility. This is what you're dealing with. When you sit up there and you put your kids' lives into the public school system and put them into the teachers' hands, their lives are in their hands on a day-to-day basis, whether they want to believe that or not. If you don't believe that, then you're just stupid. I don't know what the fuck to tell you. You sit up there putting them out. What do y'all think this is? Y'all just go through life in just a mechanical way without even understanding what's going on, your everyday moves, everything you're doing. You're just born into this shit. And so it just becomes just your nature. It just becomes what you do. You're not even stopping to think about what you're actually doing on a day-to-day basis. You send your child to these schools. You put them in your hands. Put them in these teachers' hands. That teacher, he had all this crap going on. Now you have a whole bunch of conflicting reports and all type of shit that they're saying, but it's been stated that there was shootings that was going on. There was a teacher that, from what the police are saying, we can't trust them, but from what the police are saying, when they were having the interview and they're having the press conference, said she was outside, had the door propped open, didn't explain exactly what she was doing with the door propped open in the back. Said she, going off what they're saying she heard the shooting, went and grabbed her phone and ran back to the door with it propped open. Let me say this again. According to the police, she saw the shooting, ran back inside to grab her phone, and ran back to the door with it propped open. There's a lot of conflicting reports. I'll tell what's true. Saying that there was a shootout in the parking lot. So all of this is going on outside of the school, and there's no school lockdown or anything to ensure the kids are safe. And in the process of all of this happening, the gunman runs inside through the open fucking door. These are who you're leaving your kids in the care of. And 19 kids and 2 adults end up getting slaughtered because of this decision. Then you have the police that take their sweet ass time, already had border patrol agents engaging with the suspect. The police get there and shots have already been fired, kids have been killed, shot. You don't know what the status of any of them are, but they're sitting around for almost an hour before they even engage the suspect. This is what you're supposed to be putting your trust in. Say 19 police were in there in the prior hour, not to mention the ones that came after that, and they were still sitting around trying to figure out how to take out one person. And you're supposed to put your trust in the police to save you. First of all, the police don't have any obligation to protect people. It's a Supreme Court ruling. They don't have any obligation to protect people, even though that's what y'all supposed to be, quote unquote, paying them for. Nobody pays the city nothing. Like I said, they take your money. Y'all, you want to say you're paying taxes and paying all this stuff to make you feel better? Okay, whatever. But this is who you're supposed to be putting your trust in, the police, and they can't even help you. They can't even do their job right. You don't want the teachers to have guns. You don't want the teachers to have guns. Oh, you think the security of the place, there's ways you can, all type of solutions that have been shown that a lot of schools take. There's a bunch of security measures, ways that doors can be locked, and all type of ways. And it should have happened here if it wasn't for the teacher. Like I said, that they want to, oh, don't put blame on her, you're deflecting. These people are crazy, man. And it's not about protecting anybody to them. It's about winning a fucking argument. If it was about saving kids and all of that, then You know, just the week prior to this, they were talking about killing kids. It's a mother's right to kill their kid, right? A lot of y'all think that's like there's no comparison because you know when life starts, right? And no, I'm not talking about I'm not talking about the outliers talking about rape or anything like that. Y'all talking about just for the fact that how they want to move on with their life, and when they make a mistake, and when they're using sex that y'all promote all day, when they're using sex the improper way and not being responsible, they should just be able to kill the kids. But all of a sudden, y'all give a damn about kids again. Y'all sit there and see examples. Y'all sit up there and, like I said, sending money from your paid, because that makes you feel good, your paid taxpayer money to go over there to Ukraine so they can defend themselves however they see fit. And shit, they're getting screwed over there. You've seen a lot of their people, their militias, because it's government controlled, and they sit up there in the event of a war, now they passing out guns, but they're only limiting how many they can have, how much ammunition they can have to even defend themselves. So a lot of their guys have pulled out. They're like, they can't do this shit no more because they can't defend themselves the proper way. Y'all don't pay attention to nothing. Y'all too busy looking at bullshit on the internet. Y'all too busy sitting up there having safe conversations. The same conversations everybody's been having the whole time, and it ain't leading to shit. Y'all want to talk about relationship advice and all of this shit. Y'all niggas out here wearing hoochie daddy shorts. The solutions are out here, man. You want to talk about criminals trying to keep it out of their hands. You don't think they're still going to be able to get a hold of this stuff? All you're doing is punishing innocent people. It hasn't stopped the flow of drugs from coming in. A large flow, all it does is boost up the black market. Hasn't stopped the flow of drugs when you're banning drug use. It may have slowed it down, but it's still what? Epidemics popped up, haven't it? They talking about opioid epidemic. And you don't know how much of that, like in the past, like that happened in the past, you don't know how complicit your own government is of it. And like I said, that story from 2 years ago where you had 20 tons of cocaine come in on the JP Morgan. Let me say that name again. JP Morgan boat. And there wasn't no big news story about that. There wasn't no extended conversations about that. That was in the news for about 1 or 2 days. It wasn't even the mainstream news. It was more of an internet article relegated to that. And nobody said nothing about that. So you're going to give them, they're still going to get that shit. And you think they care about that? You think they care about getting it legally or illegally? They're already doing something fucked up. They're going to kill people because they're angry. So they're already hell-bent on breaking the law. What are y'all talking about, man? These people are crazy, man. You want a longer, I saw Sheila Jackson Lee and the little bullshit. I stopped watching that stuff because it's all nonsense. It's all nonsense. I saw Sheila Jackson Lee up there talking about, a 7-week waiting period, these background checks and shit. You're doing nothing but protecting. So in the event, because y'all like to use outliers. So let me use outliers. Because y'all use it with everything else, abortion and all of that. So what about the person, and which happens all the time, especially in your own communities and people who look like us. What happens in the event that you have a threat, an imminent threat that's coming up against you, and you need to go purchase something quick? You want a 7-week background check, or are people supposed to have the money, especially within this, especially in this economy right now? Everybody's supposed to just have the money to where they can just get up and move their family out the way whenever they see fit. Because hey, yeah, they just got the money. Everybody's fucking rich, right? Maybe you think everybody rich. Shit, everybody be talking like they got money. Everybody on the internet be talking like they got money. Shit, pandemic ain't hurting them. So maybe so. It's shit. You can just get up, pick up and move. You gonna make people wait to be able to purchase ammunition to protect themselves. If you want somebody, then you want to limit. You want to limit how a person's able to protect themselves. When you have countless stories of people, the better the ammunition, the better the gun. Things like these AR-15, these automatic weapons, can be able to eliminate a threat. Eliminate a threat at with high efficiency. Yeah, that story of them 3 boys went up to rob that dude, and he pulled his shit out. Got all of them. All in one swoop. So y'all want to limit that. Y'all want to limit that. Mass shooters, man. Mass killers. Nobody's more mass killers. The country you sit in today. All those people they slaughtered over in the Middle East. All those stories, all those printed stories about innocent families getting killed. Drone attacks, missile attacks, over in hospitals, schools, all type of different places being bombed. We're talking about mass killers. And these are the people that you're supposed to be trusting. It's all around you. Y'all don't know what y'all want. The same people y'all claim to not be trusting, the government, the police, but y'all want them to have the monopoly on this type of stuff, on guns. All the stuff that you saw with George Floyd, with Tatiana Jefferson. I'm not saying not Breonna Taylor. Y'all don't even understand the details of that one. Man, there's so much more of a conversation to be had with this. Man, talk to me in the comment section. We'll get into this even more. There's a lot more details and stuff going on surrounding these things. Man, that's what y'all need to do. Y'all need to know what y'all talking about. You need to understand your history. Y'all need to be consistent. That's simple. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Hit the subscribe button too. Till then, I'll holler at y'all later.